There's certain things I wish I knew when I was first starting my consulting business. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I wish I would have known when I got started and what the keys have been to scaling and growing multi-million-dollar consulting businesses. Hey, I'm Michael Zapersky, a CEO and co-founder at Consulting Success, where we've been working with consultants for over 15 years now, serving thousands of consultants all around the world in many different industries, helping them to grow and scale and really take their consulting businesses to the next level in a way that is sustainable and in a way that supports the lifestyle that they want to have, with a truly optimized business model and strategic plans in place so that they can build their businesses with confidence. All right, so let's get into what I wish I would have known when I first started my consulting business. And much of this will also be applicable even if you are already an established consultant. Every successful consulting business has 4 pillars. These must be present in order for you to achieve and to see success for the long term as a consulting business founder. So let's go through them, and then I'll also talk with you and kind of share some of the additional components of what it takes to grow and scale a successful consulting business and what signs to look for. Okay, so pillar number 1 is ideal client clarity. This is all about how you identify who your dream client is, and saying things like, I work with small businesses, or I work with manufacturing companies, or right, I work with whatever. Generally, what most people say is too wide. It's too broad. And when you understand marketing and you understand how to build a pipeline and ultimately attract high value clients, you recognize that the more specific you are about who your ideal client is, the more effective your marketing will be. And we've seen this with clients that we've worked with who have already achieved some solid success in their business. They're already generating multiple kind of high 6 figures, and they're doing great work. In some cases, we've even seen this with consultants and firms that are at that 7-figure plus level. But there's almost always opportunity to further dial in and to apply the concept of 80-20, that 1% of your client base will provide up to 50% of your revenue and profits. And so when you think about private equity, when they acquire a business, one of the first things that they do is they run the analysis to see which products or services are the most profitable and have the greatest demand and have the biggest opportunity, and they simply figure out how to optimize and do more of those and do less, or just kind of delete and remove and cut everything else that isn't performing. Well, it's the same opportunity for you inside of your business, and at the early stages it'll be harder for you to know what to focus on and who the ideal client is. We help our clients a lot with that through that process and take them through exercise to help them to get that clarity. But as time goes on, it's important that you really hone in on who your ideal client is. So we call it ideal client clarity, and that's looking at things like industry, job title, geographic region, the issues that these people are having, how they think about making decisions, really everything around the factors. It could be size of company, number of employees, revenue, investment stage level. I mean, there's are they private? Are they public? Are they nonprofits? Right? All this kind of stuff are criteria that you use to make that decision around who is the ideal client, right? And then as time goes on, and again, you're more established, you're going to also want to feed all of that through kind of the profitability and some analysis to identify where are the profits really coming from? Where is the greatest demand? Where have we achieved the best results? Take all of that and then figure out what are the criteria and the characteristics of that ideal client and hone in and really focus more on them. So that's number 1. Number 2 is what we call developing the magnetic message. So your magnetic message is the message that gets the attention and interest of your ideal clients. When somebody says, what do? You're able to respond in a very succinct and very powerful and compelling way. Your magnetic message is the kind of the headline that goes onto your website. It's the headline of your LinkedIn personal profile. It's what is in your marketing materials, in your emails. So again, it should clearly communicate who you help, how you help, what problems you solve, what results you create, and why you, right? We teach this whole formula to our clients. We help them to refine and develop and do a lot of work with them around their magnetic message, because in almost all cases, when somebody comes to us and they say, hey, my marketing isn't working, I don't have enough leads, I'm not creating enough opportunities, I don't see a path to greater growth, I don't know how to really, or everything that I've tried in my marketing hasn't been working. In almost all cases, we can trace it back to that they're not clear on who their ideal client is, and they don't have a message that gets the attention and interest of their ideal clients. And you can see this over and over where you'll have two people, right? Or two companies, and they'll both be doing the exact same marketing kind of method or tactic. So one might be, let's say, using LinkedIn heavily, and then another one's also using LinkedIn heavily. What makes the difference between one being successful and one not seeing any results at all? And it's generally the person who doesn't have a really compelling message, doesn't have distinction and differentiation in that message. They're the ones that aren't seeing much results, right? You have two people running advertisements, right? They're same kind of ad. The ads might even look very similar, but one's getting great results, the other isn't. Why? Again, it's back to the messaging. So don't overlook your messaging. Really make sure that you have the right structure, the right process, the right message, validate it so that you know and feel confident that you are addressing the real challenges, pain points, problems, desires that your ideal clients are actively thinking about. When you have that, then you have a message that truly is magnetic. That when people hear, when they say, what do? You meet them at an event, or they read your website or see a marketing material, they instantly go, oh, like you're speaking to me. That's exactly what's on my mind. That's a problem that we right now are looking to fix. That then creates the desire inside of them to want to speak with you, to have a conversation because you've got their interest and curiosity. So develop the magnetic messages. That is pillar number 2. Pillar number 3 is what we call the optimized business model and strategic offers. So this all comes down to how do you take all of your years of experience, your skills, right, your expertise, how do you package that? How do you position that? How do you place value on that? And how do you price that in a way that truly aligns and resonates with what your ideal clients care about? So looking at your business model, looking at, is this a productized offer? Is it a custom offer? How do you price that, right? There's a lot of different variables at play, and there's no one best way. We have many clients who we've helped to develop, productized consulting offers. We have others that work on a performance basis. We have others that have advisory and retainer agreements in place. A lot of different ways, and each can work exceptionally well, but it needs to be aligned to what you desire in terms of what business model is right for you. How do you want to operate? How do you want to deliver? What is your goal with the business? Are you, running this purely as a lifestyle business that you are going to be just doing until the day that you decide to stop doing it? Or do you have the desire to build a company, build an asset, build something that you could potentially sell at one day or one day down the road? All these are factors to consider. Do you want to be a solo consultant doing everything yourself? Do you want to have a team of contractors, or do you want to have a full-time team, right? What's important to you? All of those things in mind, then you can start to make decisions around what is the right business model? What is the right delivery model? What is the right pricing strategy? How do you position that? How do you present that to the marketplace and to your ideal clients? So that is number 3. The 4th pillar is what we call the marketing engine. And what's interesting about the marketing engine is that this is where most people want to start, right? It's sexy, it's more exciting. And why? Well, clearly because it's one of the greatest areas of challenge that people have to attract ideal clients. But people miss those. In order to attract your ideal clients and to do it consistently, you need to focus on the other pillars first, right? As I mentioned before, you can find a lot of examples of people who run Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or Google ads, or they're speaking or they're writing or they're posting on social media platforms all day long. Like, they're doing a lot of stuff, and you'll see some people be very successful with that, and you'll see other people that are falling flat on their face and really struggling, and it feels hard and it's frustrating. Why? What's the difference? Again, because those that are successful have figured out who their ideal client is. They have a message that really resonates with the ideal client. They have an offering that is the solution to the problem that the ideal client has. Once you have those things in place, marketing becomes much easier because you know what to say and who and how to say it, right? And who you're directing that to and how to get that message in front of the right people so that it elicits a response. And so people want to actually raise their hand and say, yes, this is really interesting. You've got my attention. I like what you're doing. I see you're now on my radar. I know what you do. And that now starts to generate a lot more inbound lead flow, builds your pipeline, creates a lot more opportunities, and allows you to have a lot more conversations with qualified people. So those are the 4 pillars. And if you're wondering, well, what is what type of marketing should I do? Again, back to my example, there's many different ways to go about marketing. When we talk with our clients, we're always looking at what strengths do they have? Where's the biggest opportunity for them? And so the right marketing tactic will depend on you, will depend on your industry, will depend on your model, will depend on your goals. All of that needs to be part of a conversation to figure out what is the right tactic and strategy. We have many clients that are doing different things these days that are all working exceptionally well for them. And those that are struggling, we're working with and helping them to get things back on track, right? That's why they're coming to us, to get help help with their marketing, to build out their pipeline, to generate a lot more leads, and to do it more consistently and with confidence. So those are the 4 pillars. Now let's talk about where your focus should be. So initially, if you're early stage in your marketing, maybe you've built your business to a solid level, but if you've never really developed a strategic and intentional marketing engine, if you don't have these 4 pillars in place, then your sole focus should just be on validation and making sales for the next 3 to 4 clients with the new engine, right? With the new system in place. Don't worry about anything else, right? Don't worry about, all the other things that you could be doing and building out technology and CRMs and this, that, and the other. Just focus on making sure that you have a way to get the attention, interest of your ideal clients. You know who they are, right? You're creating conversations and you're winning business. That should be your sole focus. You want to validate and prove that what you're doing works. Okay. I'm simplifying it just because obviously we can't go into all the little details, but keep that in mind. I see a lot of people, especially early stage consultants, who spend way too much time playing with technology and tools and setting up all this stuff and fancy websites, and they don't have business, right? At the early stages, your sole focus should just be on validating, making sure that the marketplace wants what you say that you can offer, right? That you truly have a solution to a problem that exists and that people are willing to pay for. Once you've done that, then the next steps are to look at, because you now have something that works. Now, what you should be doing is thinking about, how do I optimize what's working? How can I reduce any waste or inefficiency in my process, in my systems? Because you have something that is working. So the next step is to make it work even better. Keep in mind, the next step is not to do more different things. When you have a process that is working, you should optimize it, reduce waste, make it more efficient and effective. Don't try and do new things. Just continue to level up what is already working for you. And so that now takes us to the next part, which is you have a fire, right? You have something that is working, it's burning. Now you want to put fuel on the fire to scale that, to get it to the next level. And as you're doing that, you're going to see that you're going to start to break things, because the systems and processes that and what you had in place at the early stage as you're building out your marketing and building out, kind of this process, if you will, they're going to start to reach capacity. They're going to start to kind of reach the limitations. And so when you have that, you're going to break things. And this happens at different levels of business. When you go from 300,000 a year to $1 million a year, from $1 million a year to 3 million a year, you're going to break things, right? What worked at 300,000 won't work when you're at $1 million, and what worked at $1 million won't work necessarily when you're at 3 million per year. And so you'll need to then, as you start kind of reaching ceilings of each of these different levels, that's when you start to and should invest in, updating your systems and your processes and focusing on putting in place better systems and processes. And once you've done that, then the next step is to repeat and do more optimization, because you've gotten to that next level. You've fixed your systems and processes to allow you to continue serving and growing, beyond where you are. But as you do that, you're going to naturally create more waste and more inefficiencies, because you've been building a bunch of stuff that will allow you to grow. So now you got to go back and clean up anything that, any of that waste or inefficiency that has been created. And that's going to allow you to make that next level even more profitable, even more efficient, even more effective, which will allow you to scale and grow. So, we've helped many clients go from 0 in revenue to 300,000 a year in revenue, and from 400,000 in revenue to multi-millions per year in revenue. And this is at a high level, the steps that you want to be thinking about. If you'd like some assistance, if you'd like to get some guidance and have some coaching and support, and just even to talk about where you're at right now inside of your consulting business, because you know that you have potential to reach a higher level. You know that you can achieve greater success, make more money, have a greater impact. You know that right now, maybe what you're doing isn't as efficient and effective as it could be. And you want to be more efficient. You want to be more effective. You want to be able to have a business that you truly are proud of, and that you can reap the rewards of all the hard work that you put in to get to where you are today, and do it in a way that you can feel really confident about, knowing that you're doing the right things in the right order. Then reach out. You can click on the link below this video or go to consultingsuccess.com and get in touch. Schedule a call. We'd be happy to chat with you about where you are right now and show you what you need to do to overcome the roadblocks and the challenges that you're either facing or will face around the corner, and show you the steps that you can take and help you to get a plan in place to grow to those next levels.